Hey guys, so I thought we'd take a break of looking at MacBooks, and I'd show you guys what I've been doing with all of my time, because it's been a while since I've posted a video, and that's because I've been busy with personal things. So what you're looking at right now is 10 acres of land that I just closed on a couple weeks ago. So what I've been doing with my dad and a couple of friends, we've been coming back here and been cutting a road through here, because this entire lot is wooded. And it's actually two lots. Both the lots span about a quarter mile back in that direction. So it's a lot of cutting trees, moving lumber, piling it up, and then eventually we're going to have to get a dumpster to come out here and move it all out of the way. So let me show you the setup that we've been using over here. Dad has one of the chainsaws. We've been doing something a little bit differently, because usually when we cut down trees, we go over to my grandparents. They live on like 3 to 4 acres. And they use a gas chainsaw, and I'm really not a huge fan of the gas chainsaws because they're hot and noisy and sometimes extremely difficult to start. So we went on Amazon, and this isn't like a product placement or anything, they didn't sponsor me, but we went on Amazon and we got these Greenworks electric chainsaws. This is a 16-inch model with the 16-inch bar, and my dad has the 14-inch model in the back, and he's chopping up some limbs. And these work really, really well. I mean, I've downed massive trees with just these electric chainsaws, and they use these, actually, I got one back here. They use these lithium-ion batteries, 40-volt system, and you just drop it in. You turn it on, and you go. I'm not going to let that run because it's on the ground and it's going to tear up my chain. I'm just going to take that out. And for the most part, I mean, the batteries have held up pretty well. We have 4 of them. They're a little pricey, but they've lasted a while. I mean, we've had 0 issues with these batteries. So I have a charging setup right here. So we have a 400-watt inverter hooked up to my 4Runner's battery, and we're running 2 chargers. And what we do is, when one of our batteries die, we just swap it out with one of the other batteries and stick the other battery on the charger, and then we just continue that cycle until we get tired, basically. And you know, this will charge one of these smaller batteries. This is a 2 amp hour battery in about an hour, and the larger 4 amp hour batteries, it takes about 2 hours to charge one of those. And what I really love about this inverter, I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but it's got a voltage readout right on the top of it, so I can see when the battery's starting to get too low. When it hits about 1.8, 1.7 volts, I just crank the car on, let it run for about 30 to 40 minutes to get that battery back up there, and then, you know, turn the car off and just let it keep going. So that's the setup that we have. Should probably show you guys around the place, because that's probably what you're interested in. I mean, there's not much to see. Most of it's woods. There's a creek in the back, though. So I thought we'd just come around here. There's basically 2 entrances. You have the road right here, and then there's like a walking path if you look down there. Right down there, where that clear section is, you can kind of just walk down there. I'm going to take you down the road first, because that's where all my time's been going. So I went to school locally, and I picked the cheapest option. You know, I stayed at home, and then since my sophomore year, I've been working as a software developer, and I've just been taking all that money that I've been saving from not going to a big college where I had to live at a dormitory and pay all the food and housing expenses. I've been taking that money and putting it aside for this for the past 4 years. And Dad's back there cutting trees. So we've cut about 300 feet of road so far, and oh, you don't want to be on the video? Aw. Aw. And we have about, I'd say, another 1,000 feet to go before we get to where we want to be. And some of these trees are huge. Yeah, so we're basically taking a straight shot all the way down the side of the property. The property line is right there. You kind of see a clearing with a field right after those trees. That's where the property line ends. And once again, it's about 10 acres, 2 5-acre lots combined. Oh yeah, this is a subscriber update. I forgot. I lost track of what I was talking about. So the next video that I'm working on is a MacBook upgrade video, and since, you know, the last video that we did was also a Mac video, I wanted to give you guys a break from that and do something a little bit different. And I think this is very different from what I usually do. Yeah, so if you're wondering, you know, why it's taking so long to get videos out there and actually publish stuff, it's because I'm out here doing this, and of course I also have my day job, and I'm working on my graduate degree too. So I got a lot going on. I'm still going to do YouTube. I enjoy doing YouTube, and I like interacting with you guys. But you know, I just have less time to allocate to it, unfortunately. It's just a trade-off, and I think it's worth it. I mean, look at all this. When we actually cut through all this and have a road going back here, and eventually I'm gonna come out here, haul a bunch of lumber all the way to the back, build a shed with probably a living quarters addition, and then in a couple of years I'll have a house on here. But I'd love a little like getaway. I'll probably update you guys about that. I'm not gonna, you know, turn the channel into this road building construction channel or anything, but I'll have a couple updates. So a surveyor came out here and he marked the RPA buffer, and what that is, it's a 100-foot buffer where you can't build anything non-water related. So you couldn't build a house or shed or anything over here. It's technically illegal, and the reason you can is because the creek that runs along my property on the other side, which you guys will see in a second, backs up to the Chesapeake Bay. So anything on those waters is protected. So you can build stuff like a kayak rack or a dock, pier, whatever you want to call it, but you can't build anything non-water related. So past these stakes, the land is pretty much untouchable, minus those water related structures. You can see part of the creek down there, but I'm going to take you around the other side to get a better view. I did cut the video because it just takes so long to get back here. Once again, it's a quarter mile and I have to dodge all these fallen trees and everything. So I didn't want to make you guys have to wait through that, because I think my first rambling segment of this video was about 7 minutes long. Just climb down here without eating it. So the weird thing about this property is that they didn't advertise it as a waterfront, which you think would be a pretty big selling point for it, but it didn't say that anywhere in the description. So I had to actually come out here and walk all the way back here and find that, hey, there's a creek that runs through the property, and they didn't mention anything about it, which is really, really odd, almost a little bit suspicious. There's the creek, and you can see the land on both sides is my property. So if I wanted to, I could build a pier over this. It's kind of like a cove right here. It'd be a good place to drop a kayak in or a small boat. Kind of just go down. It does get bigger as you go down. It does look a little narrow here, but as you go down towards the outlet, closer to Chesapeake Bay, it does get wider. And there is a pretty wide selection of wildlife back here. Actually, the previous owner, he had hunting stands up here, and there was one left somewhere around here. He was supposed to take him down, but he missed one. I'll see if I can catch it going back. But it looked like he was hunting deer back here, and there's also turkeys. And I've seen him with my own eyes. We've come back here. I'm like, what is that big black thing all the way in the back of the lawn? We walk back further. There's a turkey just chilling, walking around. So there's turkeys back here too. I try to find a better view of the creek, but there's just so much brush here. Some of this I'm probably going to clear out so you can actually get back here a little bit easier. But if you look down there, the creek kind of bends and goes all the way down there. So that's where the cove is back there. I gotta head back because my dad's still up there cutting branches all by himself. He's probably wondering where I went. Still haven't been able to find that hunting stand. I know it's back here somewhere. I didn't actually see it myself. My sister told me it's back here. She took a picture of it. Oh, so that's what I need to show you guys. So I'll get a video of this and overlay it as B-roll. But so there's a ditch when you come into the property. And whoa, did you see that? There's a rabbit over there. Spooked me for a second. But there's a ditch where we're building the road. And Wednesday, it's Sunday right now. Wednesday I came down here to cut down trees by myself, and I tried to drive over it with my 4Runner, and didn't quite make it. So I was stuck there for about, I'd say 2 hours, trying to dig my car out, and eventually I threw in the towel and called my dad, and he brought some boards over, and we were able to get out. So the land's been fighting me a little bit, but for the most part, I mean, it's been smooth sailing trying to build a road back here. Looking forward to coming out and camping out here one of these days, because it's just gorgeous back here. The bugs are a little bad. There's ticks back here. I mean, there's ticks everywhere in Virginia. But I mean, as long as you put on some decent bug spray, they don't bother you. I've been out here 10 times and I haven't gotten a single tick, even though I know I just jinxed myself and I'm gonna come home and find that they're all over my body. I hope not. God, I hate those things. And some of the trees on this property are just, I mean, they're massive. I love how big some of these trees are. And I really hate cutting a path for the road just because we haven't cut anything down this big. I mean, look at my hand compared to this tree. The thing's massive. But we've been cutting down smaller trees, probably like, yay big. And I just don't like it because it's so beautiful out here. And it feels like, you're kind of ruining part of it, but don't really have a choice there. Trying to cut down as few trees as possible. When I go to actually build the shed and the house, I'm gonna try to cut down the minimal amount of trees because I want to keep as much of this intact as I possibly can. That's why I bought the land, because it's gorgeous out here. Another notable, I guess, feature of the property is that a ditch runs through and cuts it in half a little. And I'm sorry about the wind. There's nothing I can do about that. Hopefully the Rode microphone isn't picking up too much of it. But this is actually drainage for the neighborhood, because this 10 acres is in the neighborhood for some reason. And the lots in the neighborhood are really small, like less than a quarter of an acre. So I think this was all part of a planned development. And then the housing crash hit, and they just gave up on the housing development and they couldn't sell the land. So it's just been sitting here ever since. People have been using it as a dumping ground too. There's some trash here and there, like car bench seat, and you guys saw some of the trash in the pile in the beginning of the video. I've been pulling out and dragging all the way out to the street, or close to the street anyway. This is right where the ditch is. I'm trying to hop over it. There's the bench seat that I was talking about. I couldn't find the hunting stand. I have no idea where it is. Got to get back and help my dad. I don't want to be gone for like another 30 minutes trying to find that thing. There's more trash. Looks like someone dumped a HVAC unit back here. And this is part of the walking path I was talking about earlier. So this goes back to the 4Runner up there. Looks like someone's been back here a couple times. Well, including myself, but it was here before I got here. There's also a bunch of concrete. I don't know what it was a part of. Maybe a well or something. But there's a couple spots where someone just dumped concrete. This looks like it was actually something. But there's spots where you can tell someone just took a bunch of concrete and dumped it there. And there's the log pile. A lot of logs that we've been cutting up. Alright. Well, that's about it. I just thought we'd do something different today. And I don't really have time to finish that Macbook video this weekend, so I wanted to get something out there to let you guys know that I'm still pushing videos out. Don't worry. Thanks for watching, guys. Keep you updated. Bye.